Welcome to Special Guest Thursdays, where real voices bring real stories to life. This ain't just an interview. This is a spotlight on those making moves. Different paths, different struggles, different wins. But one thing in common, they showed up and leveled up. We're sitting down with leaders, creators, and game changers to talk pressure, purpose, and the mindset behind the grind. No scripts, no filters, just real. Because every guest brings gems, and every story brings power. This is the Final Boss Podcast, and this is Special Guest Thursdays. Tap in and tune up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at the people coming through for today's show, man. Y'all beat me here. Y'all was waiting on me. That is insane. Welcome, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is, or I should say this is, right? This is the Final Boss Podcast. Woo-hoo. Right. Episode number 230. Man, we getting up there. We are getting up there, man. Listen, season 5, the harvest is around the corner. This is episode number 230, right? Episode number 230, and I got a great show for you tonight. Special guest Thursday. Listen, tonight we're going to do a town hall, right? I got a bunch of questions in my inbox, man, and from individuals that we vetted, that Hexadecimal vetted, right? Hey, Shikani, thank you for joining us. I see you, Alex. Thank you for joining us. And I got a whole bunch of other people who hear those individuals who sent me the questions that we're going to be going through for this town hall. They're already coming on board. Miss Nikki, I see you. Thank you. Miss Kiki, I see you. Kiki, Kim's mom, I see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, man, everyone's coming on. Everybody's coming in. I see you. I see you. I see you. And, you know, man, it's a great place to be here on a Thursday night, right? This town hall is going to be a lot of fun, man. I got some great questions that we're going to be asking. And you, the sovereign, you're in the chair tonight. The smarts, the final bosses, the warriors, the motivators, you are in the chair tonight. Hey, Andre, thank you so much. I see you. Hey, where's that champagne? Bring on the champagne. I see the champagne glasses. Where's the champagne, man? Where is it, right? Bring on the champagne because it is a celebration. Look, we're getting ready to go, man. We are getting ready to go. But before we do, I got to tell you, man, full disclosure, right? This is for entertainment purposes only, right? And the greeting of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That is the greeting of the day, man. And this is our show. We are here. I am here. We are all a part of the Final Boss community, Final Boss Nation, Final Boss family, Final Boss podcast on the Final Boss journey, right? We on this journey, man, together, man, because we are all looking for answers. And it's a shared space. It's a shared, safe space, right? So let's get rid of these banners real quick. And look, if you haven't already, go get Go Time, all aboard the Fired Up train, right? If you haven't gotten Go Time, all aboard the Fired Up train. If you haven't gone to our website, you can go to our website and see all of our episodes, each and every last single one of the episodes, man, 1 through 230, right? All of the episodes are on our website. The website is www.thefinalbosspodcast, one word, thefinalbosspodcast.com, all one word. And if you want to be on the show, man, shoot us an email at info@thefinalbosspodcast. That's info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. I know lately I haven't been giving you guys my admin notes, man, but, you know, I have to, right? Because how else would you know to contact us? Or you could DM us, right? On all of the platforms that you see us on. We're currently on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and did I get all of them? I think so. I think I got all of them, right? I think I got all of them. Yeah. It's about 10, it's 10, something like that, right? Oh, StreamYard. I knew I forgot one. I knew I forgot one, man. But I'm really excited about tonight's show, man. You are the guest tonight, the sovereign, right? The sovereign, man, are the guests tonight. So everybody pull up a chair. The town hall is about to begin. All right. So let me give you parameters of tonight. The audience in the chair is you, smarts, final bosses, warriors, motivators, right? You're in a chair. 11 voices from the community, right? We're going to be having a call and response conversation. Non-doctoral level. This is street level conversation, right? We're going street level. The sovereign voice is the rawest, right? So I'm glad you guys are in the chair. Let's get into it with our community who are the 11. We're going to call them the 11 chairs. The 11 chairs, right? And here they are, right? We got two individuals coming in from the smarts, right? The first one is Maya, right? Maya is she's 28. First, let's get that established. Maya's 28. She's a systems analyst. Maya says she's burning out on her dashboard, right? How many of you are out here burning out on your dashboard, right? So that's Maya. She's the first of the smarts, right? Second runner up to the smarts is Marcus. Marcus is 42. He's an operations director, right? And he says he's frozen on a decision he's already made. If you're frozen and you already made the decision, Marcus, it doesn't sound like you're all that frozen, my guy, but we're going to get into it anyway, man, right? And then there's the next lineup is the final boss lineup. We got Jason, who's 36. He's a founder and CEO like myself, right? He's a big 7-figure salary guy. That's what he's. Hey, man, his words, not mine, right? And Jason says he's scared and silent. Well, Jason, let me tell you, man, you don't have to be scared. We're going to talk about both of them, though, but you don't have to be scared, man. Listen, fear is an option, right? And we'll get into that conversation, right? Next up on the final bosses, we have Diane, right? Diane, who's 47. She's from the tri-state, and she's also a CEO. And she says she's lonely at this current altitude. Is lonely at the top, Diana. We're going to get into it. Next up, we have Robert, who's also no, Robert's not a CEO, but he was. He's cashed out. Okay. Robert's 53, cashed out, 8-figure salary, and he's feeling empty. Okay, Robert, we're going to talk about you and how you in your emptiness, my man. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Next lineup is the motivators, right? We got Devon, who's 26, into real estate. 2 years of grinding and no proof yet. Okay. Listen, we never get to see the in-between, only the start and the finish. But we're going to talk about the no proof yet, Devon. We're going to get into it, right? And next we have is Crystal. Crystal is 34. She's a mother of 2. She's lost the streak. And she's having a hard time restarting. Okay, Crystal, we're going to talk about that, right? Thank you for joining us. And then there's Torelli. Torelli is 31. He's into tech sales, to be a matter of fact, right? And he feels like he has the comparison disease. We've talked about that. We're going to talk about it some more with Torelli, right? Specifically. Next up, we have our warriors. The warriors are in the building. We have Sergeant Mike, Army guy, 44, 20 years in the Army, right? 20 years in the Army, 2 combat tours. Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you. And he's recently went into the civilian workplace and he feels like he's in limbo. Man, I know how you feel. Respect. I definitely can hold that conversation all day and night, right? And last, well, actually, this isn't last. Another warrior, Captain Renee. Okay. Captain Renee D. She's 38. She's an officer. She has a combat tour under her belt. And she says she's carrying something she's never named. Well, ma'am, Captain Renee, we're going to get into that. And hopefully you can share with us the very thing that you've never named, right? And then lastly, the last chair is you. Right? You thought I forgot about you. No, not at all, right? The empty chair, right? The reserved. And for anybody else who's listening tonight, you are the 11th chair, like the 11th man, or the 6th man, I should say, right? The 6th man. But before we get into it, tonight's show completely in totality, let's go with the brass tacks of the evening. And tonight's brass tacks comes from none other than yours truly. And here it is. The foundation does not get poured by the architect alone. Every voice in this room lays a brick tonight. That is the rebirth building itself in real time. That, my friends, is the brass tacks of the evening coming from yours truly. So, look, let's have a moment of silence for the 11. We're going to call those guys the 11, right? And look, there's a chair across from me right now. You may think that chair is empty. You can't see the chair, right? The camera doesn't show it, but it's there. And every Thursday for the last 230 episodes, one episode a week out of those 230, somebody has sat in it for the most part, right? CEOs, authors, veterans, operators, builders, people with real stories, right? People with real scars, people who came in to share a piece of who they are, where the rest of us could see ourselves a little clearer, right? Like the mirror, right? That is what Special Guest Thursdays does. The chair is a mirror. But tonight I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time. I think I did a town hall in the first season, right? But it's been many episodes since. Now that we're at 230, man, 230 episodes, right? With 3 seasons, almost 4 seasons under our belt. Tonight, that chair does not sit still. Tonight, that chair rotates. And if I could rotate mine right now, spin around and be happy, I would, but I can't. I'm too tall for that, right? But we got 11 people, 11 times, right? 11 names, 11 voices, 11 questions. Real people who sent in the truth that they've been carrying, right? Names changed, stories that are real, pain that's real. Answers live right here on episode 230, the town hall, right? The town hall. Because every week the question comes in from the DMs, from the moments, from the comments, from the lives, right? From the reels, from the social media platforms, right? And every show after, from the private messages, from the emails, right? That nobody but me can read, right? Questions you've been carrying, questions you have been afraid to ask out loud. Questions you wrote down at 2 a.m. and never sent. Questions you sent and never got an answer to. Well, tonight we're going to be answering them. Tonight, every one of you takes that chair, right? And to my smarts, you're sitting down right now, sitting down tonight. Maya is here. Marcus is here, right? Let's give him a hand. To my final bosses, you're sitting down tonight. Jason is here. Diane is here. Robert is here, right? Let's give them a hand. And to my motivators, you are sitting down in the chair tonight. To Devin, to Crystal, to Relly, right? And to Sergeant Mike and Captain Renee, who's also here in the building, right? And the 11th chair. That chair has your name on it, right? That chair has your name on it. 11 voices, one host, one segment. No edits, no rehearsals, right? No script. The audience didn't already write themselves when they sent in their questions, right? This is the community taking the mic in front of the entire Final Boss family and getting answers in real time out loud on the record. All with these bright ass lights on, right? Right? Because you came here tonight expecting to listen. But by the time we close out, you're going to realize you were the one we were talking to the whole time. That happens a lot, right? A lot of the shows people say resonate with them, right? Even if it they just caught a few minutes of it, right? Just a few minutes, and it still resonates with them. That means we're doing a great job, right? So this is episode 230, arc 3. Welcome to the foundation. Welcome to the rebirth. The rebirth is in motion. If you haven't pulled up a chair, pull up a chair. Become the final boss. Become the motivator. Become the smarts. Become a warrior, right? Because tonight, you are not the audience. Tonight, you are the show. So, real talk before we get into the first chair, right? Some of you have been wondering why I'm doing it like this tonight. Why solo? Why no guests? Why turn the show into a town hall instead of a one-on-one? Well, here's the verdict, and here's the answer, right? Arc 3, Season 4, the foundation and premiere of this arc was Motivation Mondays back in episode number 217, right? We talked about the architect and the architecture of the reborn mind. Then Tech Tuesdays opened up with AI Sovereign Stack, right? And then Special Guest Thursdays premiered with episode number 220, The Greatest Lie Ever Told. Then Sitting Down Sundays with the foundation. Then Merger Wednesdays kept laying down the doctoral concrete brick by brick. Man, that's what we do. And last week, I sat in this chair alone on episode number 225, and that episode was titled, Who Approved Your Blueprint, right? I put the audience on the forensics table. I asked you to inventory who got access to your drafting plans without your permission, right? That episode did its job. The DMs blew up, and they're still blowing up, right? They're still blowing up. And the comments stacked. The questions started, and they started flooding in, right? They started flooding in. So I read every single one of those, and I noticed a pattern. Right? I noticed the pattern. Hey, stay with me. Don't go nowhere. I see you. Right? You were not asking me about the strategy. You were not asking me about the systems. You were not asking me about the things you were too tired to keep carrying around alone. Right? The things that don't have clean answers. The things that you wanted somebody to look you dead in the eye and speak to without a sales pitch attached, right? 11 of those questions stuck out to me the most, right? 11 of you are about to hear your own voice in the chair tonight. I changed the names. I changed some of the details. The questions are real. The pain is real. The weight is real. That's not gimmick. That is theater. Or I should say not theater, right? That's not theater. It's not theater at all, right? That is foundation, right? And yes, I'm doing what you think I'm doing before you even ask. I know, right? That is foundation getting poured by the people standing on top of it. Every chair, every brick, every voice that commands it, right? The foundation is not built by one person, one man, or even me, right? Who's trying to lay the concrete in private. No, it is built by a community willing to be honest about what they've been standing on, what cracked, and what they need to pour next. Tonight, we pour together, right? So when you hear the chair rotate, right? When you hear the voice come in and it sounds like it could be you, don't just listen. Sit down with them. Sit down with it, right? Because the question they are asking is the question you've been holding on to, right? First chair coming up. We got the smarts on the table, right? We got the smarts on the table. They're up first. We're going to talk to Maya. Maya, is it? Maya's in. Okay, I see you, Maya, right? And the chair is yours. So let's start with Maya. Right? Like I said before, Maya is 28 years old, right? She's a smart. She's dedicated herself to a smarts in the community, right? She's a systems analyst by trade, and she sent this at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night, right? These are her words, right? This is, and I was going to make an attempt to be in Maya's voice, but I think my voice is too deep for that. So this is Maya's voice, right? This is Maya's voice. Maya says, "Final boss, I have a system for everything. I track my time, I track my income, I track my workouts, I track my reading, I track my output. On paper, it looks like I'm winning. But every time I look up from the dashboard, I feel like I'm losing. The numbers say I'm building. The mirror says I'm tired. Why does winning feel like nothing?" Oh, man, that's heavy. Whoo, boy, man, don't I know that road and that energy and that level of emotion? Let me tell you. Man. Man. Maya, listen to me. And I want every smarts in here to hear what Maya just said, right? Because this is the disease that nobody warns you about when you fall in love with systems, right? You built a dashboard. You did not build a life. That is the answer. Plain as day. But let me explain. Let me get into it, right? Systems are servants, right? They're not gods. The minute you stop using the dashboard to serve your life and you start using your life to feed the dashboard, you have inverted the entire purpose. Now you're working for the spreadsheet. Now you're reporting to a metric. Now your life feels like it's inside a number and it doesn't love you back, right? Because numbers don't love. Ever, right? Numbers do not love you. Ever, right? And here's what's actually happening to your nervous system, right? Because you optimized everything that can be measured. You see your life as metrics, right? Time, output, reps, pages, income, sleep hours, macros, right? Steps. All those things are beautiful, right? The problem is the most important things in your life cannot be measured. You can't put a measure on joy. You can't put a measure on presence. You can't put a measure on spirit. You can't put a measure on connection. You can't put a measure on stillness, right? The taste of a meal you cooked really slow, letting it marinate, right? From the taste to the smell, right? The feeling of being held by somebody who is not asking you to be impressive. None of that fits in your world. None of it. What fits and what that fits on is a spreadsheet, right? That's, you have your own spreadsheet. Your life is a spreadsheet. So you have built a perfect log of life that is slowly draining life out of you, right? In the categories you forgot to track, right? The fix is not to throw out your systems, because your systems work. They're optimized, right? And smarts do not abandon what they built. They refine it. So it's time for some refinement, right? Right? It's time for some refinement. And you need to add 3 new metrics to your spreadsheet tomorrow, right? 3. That's it. 3. 1, ask yourself, did you laugh today? Add that to your spreadsheet. Laughter is important. Number 2, did you touch somebody you love? Right? Add that to your spreadsheet. Love is important, right? And then number 3, did you sit in silence for 5 minutes without reaching for a screen? Audit your time. Audit your time. I can't stress that enough, right? You track those for the next 30 days and watch what happens. Add them to your spreadsheet. Optimize them, right? The dashboard becomes a servant again. The system starts producing the right output. The number that was making you feel empty starts pointing back at the things that fill you up. Right? Maya, winning feels like nothing because you optimized for the wrong scoreboard. Change the scoreboard, the win comes back. And you're winning, right? But trust me, you're winning, right? And to my smarts, that is your first brick in the foundation tonight. My next guest is Marcus. I hope that resonates, man. I hope it resonates and you're able to take it and you apply the suggestion that I just gave you, right? I hope that resonates. And good luck to you, man. Keep winning, right? You're a winner. You're smart. Keep doing what you're doing. Next up is Marcus. My man, Marcus, right? Marcus is 42. Marcus is a smarts, right? Marcus is an operations director at a mid-cap firm, right? He sent this in on Friday morning at 6:13 a.m., right? And listen, I read this a few times before I even knew how to answer it, right? Before I knew how to answer it. And here's Marcus' concern, right? Here it is. I have made the same decision 4 times in the last 6 months. Every time the data tells me to pivot, every time I pull the trigger, I freeze. I know the move, I just can't make it, right? What am I missing, right? Marcus, listen, stand up, Marcus. Now sit back down. Stand up and sit back down. Listen, I'm not laughing, man. I'm here with you, right? I'm here with you. Because brother, I hear you. And I want you to hear me, right? You're not missing data, right? You are choking on the permission, right? You're choking on the permission. Listen, there are 2 kinds of people who freeze in front of a decision they already know how to make. The first one is the one who does not have enough information, right, to make a sound decision. That's fixable in 20 minutes, right? Especially with AI and Google and all these other things that we have as tools, right? But that's not you. The second one is the one who has all the information, is waiting for somebody to tell them they are allowed to act on it. Marcus, That's you, my friend. Right? Come on, player, homeboy. Come on, brother. That's you, man. Somewhere along the way, somebody taught you that pulling the trigger without a cosign was reckless. You don't need permission, man. Maybe it was a parent that told you that, right? Maybe it was a former boss. Maybe it was the culture, right? That taught you that smart people consult and smart people loop in others, right? And smart people defer. But that's harshly true, man. That conditioning is now sitting and resting on your spine, and it's heavy. And every time you need answers to say go, your body says, halt, wait. Well, what are you waiting for, Marcus? Wait for who? Wait for what? Right? You big 42 now, man. What are you waiting for, brother? Listen, man. Pull the trigger. Nobody is coming. The data is the permission. The pattern is the permission. Your previous wins are the permission. Your big age at 42 is the permission. The years you put in are the permission, man. You do not need a board. You do not need a committee. You do not need somebody to slap you on the back of your forehead, which is crazy, right? Before you move. And here's the rule. If you've made this exact decision correctly 3 times before, the 4th time is not a decision anymore. It is an execution. You are not deliberate, you're not being deliberate, man. You're stalling, right? But what are you stalling for? And understand this, stalling is theft. If you are robbing yourself of the result, you are robbing your family of the upside, right? You're robbing the people you would have served on the other side of that move, right? 48 hours from now, right? That is your window. Pull the trigger inside of 48 hours and admit out loud that you're not going, to, right? Either one is honest. Both clear the table. The middle ground is the only loss, right? And to my other smarts in here listening, write that down. 48 hours from clarity to commitment every single time. No exceptions. No cosigns needed, right? Marcus, get up, brother, right? Walk out the door. Go make a call. Go do what you have to do. Make a decision, right? Find the bosses, right? Find the bosses. The chair is rotating to you. Jason, you are up. Let's give a shout out to Marcus, right? Now, the third chair for tonight is Jason. Jason is 36. Jason claims to be a final boss, right? He's a founder and CEO. Congratulations, sir, right? He built this company from a kitchen table to 7 figures in 4 years. Congratulations, right? This question came in at 2:14 a.m. on a Sunday, right? Right after sitting down Sunday, right? And this is Jason's concern, right? He said, I built a company from zero, and now I command 7 figures. My team looks at me like I have all the answers, but I do not. I am terrified most days. How do I lead from the inside when I'm scared and they're watching me like a rock? Right? Thank you for sharing that, Jason. To my final bosses, all of you, let's lock in, right? This is the question every one of you has carried and most of you have never asked out loud. Shout out to him for being courageous to answer the question, right? And I'm going to say something that nobody told me when I started building myself, right? The job is not to be scared. The job is to lead while you are scared, right? And I'm gonna say that again. The job is not to be scared. The job is to lead while you are scared, right? Jason, my man, the job is not to be scared, man. Fear is not a leadership flaw. Fear is the tax you pay for caring about the outcome. The leaders who say who say that they're not scared are either lying, numb, or asleep at the wheel, right? None of those are people you want building your foundation or even following, right? What you're feeling is absolutely is fine. It's perfect. It's normal, right? The pressure of being looked to is real. The weight of being the rock is also real. The exhaustion of holding the room when somebody is holding you is real, right? So let's talk about it, man. Here's the move. Here's the move, right? Here's the final boss move. Right? Stop trying to perform certainty. That's number one. Number two, start practicing clarity, right? Because listen, man, certainty is a lie. Clarity is a discipline. Certainty says, I know exactly what is going to happen, right? Clarity says, I know exactly what we're doing next. Your team does not need you to predict the future. Your team needs you to name the next move with conviction. You see what I did there, man? You see how I flipped that, right? You're doing what, man? You're doing amazing, bro. Keep it up, right? When you walk in scared tomorrow, don't pretend that you're not, right? Walk in with the next play named, the next 30 days mapped, the next decision committed to, right? That is what they're going to be reading off your facial expression, right? When you say those very words. Not the absence of fear, but the presence of direction, right? And here's another thing, Jason, right? Get a board of one. One person, bounce back person, right? Outside of the company. One person who has built bigger. One person who can hold the weight and that you can't put on your team, right? And listen, that's not weakness, man. That's infrastructure. Every final boss who lasted as long as you have built one of those before they hit 8 figures, right? The ones who did not build it burned out, crashed out, or got pushed out, right? You're not failing because you're scared. You're growing in a version of leadership that does not require fearlessness, right? Stay scared, man. As the Dos Equis guy says, right? Stay sharp. Stay moving, right? Final bosses. That's the first brick. Diane, you are up, man. Jason, thank you for sharing, bro. Diane, where are you? Diane, where are you? I'm calling out Diane. The chair is yours, right? The chair is yours. So, Diane is 47. She claims to be a final boss in the community. She's a logistics. Oh, I see you, Diane. Diane is the CEO of a logistics company that runs in the tri-state area. All right. She sent this in last week after a board meeting where she said she felt like she was sitting alone in a room full of people. Oh man, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Let me tell you, man, that is not a good feeling, Diane. Trust me, I know. So this is what Diane sent in. She said, the higher I go, the lonelier it gets. Yes, it's lonely at the top. My peers are not my peers anymore. My family does not understand the pressure. My team cannot be my friends. And I have everything I asked for and nobody to celebrate it with. Is this the cost? Unfortunately, for some, it is. But Diane, we're going to get into it, right? Thank you for sharing. That took a lot of courage. Thank you for sharing, right? Diane, my sister in this space, I'm going to say, right? To answer your question, excuse me, the answer of your question is yes and no, right? Let's start with the yes. Yes, the climb gets quieter. The room at the top really is small. The number of people who can actually see what you see, feel what you feel, and carry what you carry shrinks every time you level up. That is not a glitch in the system. That is the system working, right? The price of altitude is air pressure, right? You climb these mountains, the air is thin. Sometimes those peaks only have room for one, right? And most people can't even breathe up there, right? Without a breathing apparatus anyway, right? Sometimes you're the breathing apparatus, right? The ones who can, you have to find on purpose. They're at the top. They're on the other peaks, right? Put on some binoculars, break out a telescope. They're up there, right? But the loneliness you are describing is not just altitude. Excuse me. Some of it is architecture, right? Some of it is architecture. So let's get into it. Let me explain, right? You said your peers are not your peers anymore. That's likely true, right? Some of them got left behind. Some of them got threatened. Some of them just had a different ceiling than you, and you outgrew the room, right? That's real, and it happens. But the answer is not to mourn them. The answer is to recruit forward, right? Find your altitude peers. They are out there. Like you found this community, they do exist, right? They're not just on an old contract list or something, right? You got to hunt for them in rooms you have not been in yet. Those mastermind groups are out there, industry councils, right? Dinners where you are the smallest in the room for the first time in years. It's time to branch out. It's time to level up, right? Second, you said your family does not understand the pressure, right? That's probably also true, right? Most family members are not paid to understand your pressure. It's not their job, right? Their job is to love you in the dimensions that they signed up for, right? Which are usually older than the boss version of you, right? Stop asking them to be your CEO peer group. Let them be your family. Let them love you as they are, as they do, right? Where they are, right? And third, you said your team cannot be your friends. That's also correct, right? Don't violate that, all right? Your team needs a leader, not a buddy. The minute you cross that line, you compromise both relationships. You need to hold the line, be warm, be human, stay the leader, right? The cost is not the loneliness, Diane. The cost is failing to build the altitude infrastructure that fills the loneliness with the right people, right? And that one is on you. You got to build it. If you are here, the final bosses are here, right? You got to pay for it, right? You got to level up. You got to travel for it sometimes, right? You got to show up for it. The people you need are out there asking the same question you just asked. You just need to go find them. You're not going to be lonely forever. Trust me. You will be selective, right? That's the difference, right? That's the difference. Shout out to Diane for sharing that. Thank you so much, right? Final bosses, that's your second brick. Listen, Robert's in the building. Where are you? I see you. Okay, Robert, I see you. Drop the emoji, man. Yeah, I see you. All right. Okay. Robert is he's also in the Final Boss community. Robert's 53. Robert has an interesting story, right? Robert sold his business 18 months ago. He made 8 figures on the exit. He sent this to me last Wednesday. He said at sunrise, right? And one sentence at the top of the email said, I almost did not send this. Robert, believe me, you weren't the only one that put that in the heading. I almost did not send. I at least 20 emails with that heading. So you're not alone, right? Don't feel alone. And this is Robert. Robert says, I built it. I cashed it out. I have the house, the cars, the freedom. I wake up most mornings and I do not know what I am doing here. What is on the other side of arrival? Well, Robert, I'll just call you Marcus. Listen, if that was me, it'd be fun and enjoyment, my man. Fun and enjoyment, right? Look, brother, that's a real question, right? That's a real question. The one nobody puts in the highlight reel, right? What's on the other side of the arrival, right? Because the arrival in itself is a new beginning, right? And most people are not even ready for it. Most people don't even know what it looks like. Most people travel their entire lives and never know what the arrival feels like, right? And here's what happened to you, my man. You spent 20, 30, maybe 40 years climbing toward a peak that you defined when you were younger, right? Maybe you and Diane can link and discuss, right? You hit it. The summit is real. The peaks are real. The view is real. The bank account is definitely real. And now you're standing there with nothing left to climb, and the wind is loud and the silence is even louder, right? That feeling is not depression, Robert. That feeling is an identity vacuum, right? You were a builder, right? And guess what, Robert? You're still a builder, right? But the things you were building is finished. And now what? Guess what? It's time to build something else, Robert. It's time to build something else, brother, right? And man, get this. That's the rebirth. That's the rebirth right there, right? In the chair you're sitting in, as you're watching and listening, it's time for the rebirth, right? Most people who hit the summit make one of three mistakes, right? One, they build the same thing again because that's what they know, right? It's comfort. The second, they build something hollow, right? They're running plays from a version of themselves that needed something to improve or something to improve, right? That version retired. The plays do not work anymore, right? The frequency is off. And then there's number two. Some people go nuclear. They go buy a Lambo. They go buy a yacht. They go buy a jet, right? Fifth marriage, right? Spiritual retreats in places they can't pronounce. They're trying to fill the vacuum with sensation. The vacuum is bigger than sensation, right? It will eat through everything you've built, right? Everything you built, it will eat through that, right? And then there's number three. Some people sit on the throne and rot. They watch the markets, manage their portfolios, wait for the next opportunity that never comes because they are actually because it's not what they're actually looking at, right? They're dying slowly with all the receipts of a successful life at the summit, right? With nowhere to go. Right? And the fourth move is the one I'm asking you to make, Robert. So listen, buddy, right? Pour the foundation again. But this time, you're going to build different, right? You've already proved you can build wealth. Now build something money does not measure. Build a legacy, build a community, build a family relationship that you neglected. Build a body that lasts another 40 years. Build a soul. Build something that nobody can put a price tag on because the tag will be insulting, right? Arrival is not the end of the climb, my man. Arrival is the end of the first climb. It's time to climb another mountain, right? It is time to climb, and there are plenty of mountains to climb, brother, right? It's just hidden behind the one that you just climbed. You got to find it. Go climb it, right? Different muscles, same heart, right? Final bosses. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate you, man. I hope this resonates, right? Final bosses. That was your third brick. Motivators. The chair is on you now. The chair is rotating. Right? Devon, where are you, Devon? Devon, get up. Is Devon in? Somebody go get Devon, right? Because I don't see Devon. Okay. Okay. All right. He's on another account. I see you. Get up, Devon. Now sit down. Now speak. I see you. Thank you for joining us, right? Devon is up in the chair, man. Listen, Devon is 26. Devon's he prescribes as a motivator, right? He has his real estate license, 2 years in, grinding from a studio apartment in a city that does not know his name yet. That's okay, brother. You'll get there. And this message, he said, came in. He sent this 3 nights ago. Okay. All right. And here's Devin. Oh, Devon. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to jack your name up. Apologies. Devon says, I do everything right. I get up at 4 a.m. I work out. I read. I grind. I'm 2 years in, but I feel like nothing is hitting. Everybody on the timeline is winning, and I'm still in the same spot. How long do I keep doing this with no proof? Wow. Vaughn, let me tell you, that's heavy, bro. That, my friend, is heavy. Man, I just felt that to the core. Listen, right? There's a few things before I break this down that I want to tell you. The road to success isn't easy, is number one. It's a long road. And as you heard from Diane and Robert, it can be lonely at the top. Success can be lonely, right? But I want you to understand this too. It takes 10,000 hours to be an expert, right? To be an expert. That's what they're saying. They said 10,000 hours, right? I forgot the reference. I have it around here somewhere. 10,000 hours. Or sometimes in your space, 10 years, right? Sometimes 10 years. I know that is not what you wanted to hear, man. But Devon, you're young, bro. Stay with it, right? I know the algorithm has been selling you 12-month transformations and overnight pivots and hockey stick growth charts, right? I know the timeline is loud with people lying about their wins. Man, everybody's not winning on social, bro. They're not, especially with AI. Now they're just what is the word? Superimposing? Yeah. Themselves into somebody else, right? It's crazy work. But everybody's not winning. But I want to tell you the truth, and I'm going to tell you the truth right now, right? Because the truth is this. 2 years is not that long, bro. 2 years is the warm-up space. The people who are actually winning at the level you're trying to reach, they've put 7, 10, 15, even 20 years in before anyone saw them. The compound did not start in year 1, right? The compound started somewhere around year 5, year 7, when most people would have already quit. Most people quit around month 18, month 20, right? Right where you're sitting tonight, Devon. Listen, bro. You are at the cliff. The cliff is not the end. The cliff is the test, right? And here's what I need you to hear, right? The work you're doing right now is being deposited in an account you cannot see yet. The reps, the hours, the discipline at 4 a.m. when nobody is clapping. The book chapters nobody knows you read. All of it is going somewhere, right? The deposit you're making is real. The withdrawal date is just not on a calendar yet, right? The other piece is this. Stop comparing your year 2 to somebody's years 10, right? The timelines are lying to you. Half of the people that you're watching are flexing year 10 capital while you're looking at year 2 struggle, right? The other half are leveraging to the gills with a quarter in their pocket or from the quarter from their last collapse, right? You don't know what is real on that screen. What you do know is real is the version of you exists at 4 a.m. That version is being forged right now. Nothing about that is wasted, right? Motivators, listen. Do not raise your hand if you're tired. Lower your shoulders, push through, right? Devon, the proof is coming, brother. Keep going. Just not on the timeline you want it. Stop negotiating with the calendar. Keep stacking, right? 2 more years, then we talk about this again, right? Most likely, you'll be in a different chair, right? Most likely, you'll be sitting on the throne. Follow the throne, man. Keep going, right? Shout out to Devon. Listen, Crystal. Crystal, you're up. I see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, right? Listen. Crystal is 34. Crystal claims to be a motivator. She's a mother of 2. She's built a 6-month streak last year that almost changed her life. Then it broke. She says she sent this in 2 weeks ago and held it on purpose, right? So here we are, right? Here we are, Crystal. Spotlight's on you, right? And this is from Crystal. Crystal says, I lost my momentum. I was on fire for 6 months. Then life happened. I dropped the routine. Now I can't find my way back. Every time I try to start, I quit by day 3. What is wrong with me? First of all, Crystal, thank you for sharing that. That was very courageous of you, sharing it to the community, right? Crystal, my sister, listen. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just running the wrong play, right? You're trying to relight the same fire. That fire is gone, Crystal. It served its purpose. The version of you that built that streak is not coming back. Stop chasing it, right? Stop chasing it, right? I'm gonna say that again, Crystal. Listen. The version of you that built the streak 6 months ago is gone. Crystal, that version did her job. She did her thing, right? She got you to the place that you needed to be. Then life pulled you off the road, and the version of you that came back was different. Different levels of stress, different level of responsibilities, different seasons, right? The old routine was built for the old you. It's time to build something new. That is why you keep quitting on day 3. Day 3 is the day your body figures all that out. And the old routine does not fit in that anymore. And that situation is out of alignment. It's time to pull a plug on it, right? And here's the move. Don't try to restart the old routine. Build a new one for the version of you that exists right now, right here in this space, right? Let it be smaller. It can be way smaller, right? The smallest possible version of the habits that you can withstand and sustain right now, right? You used to work out an hour. Now, work out for 10 minutes, right? You used to read 40 pages. Go read 2 pages. You used to journal 3 pages. Go write 3 sentences, right? It's all about the wins, the transactions. It's still a win, although it's micro, right? You have to let those micro habits, rebuild the spine. The spine carries the weight later, right? You cannot lift 200 pounds when your back is broken. You can stretch. You can rehab. You can rebuild. Most people quit because they refuse to scale down. They don't understand the importance of scaling down, right? Their pride would not let them do it. They want to walk back into the gym with the same number they left at, right? And I see it, man. People leave the gym for 6 months after bench pressing 300 something pounds and then expect that on day one after not being in the gym for 6 months that they can bench press 300 some pounds again. It doesn't work like that, right? The body does not care about your pride. The body cares about the repetition, right? So, Crystal, this is for you. 2 minutes a day for 30 days will rebuild more momentum than 2 hours for 3 days will, right? That's math, right? It's time to run the math, right? The other piece, Crystal, is this. And I need you to stop calling it a momentum loss. Call it a season change, right? Seasons are not losses. Seasons are seasons. You do not lose the spring. The spring just turned into summer and then fall and now winter, right? Winter has its own work. Winter is for foundation. Foundation is what Arc 3 is all about, right? You are exactly where you need to be. Build small, build true. The fire comes back when you stop chasing it and start filling the floor, right? Thank you for Crystal. Thank you, Crystal, right? Motivators. That was the second brick. Next up, oh man, I've been pronouncing your name Terrell. It's not Terrell. I'm sorry, Terrell. Man, jack his name up. Sorry, bro. Sorry. I apologize. All right. Next up, we have Terrell, right? Terrell is the last in the motivator chair, right? And I'm going to go over. Tonight's going to be a long show, right? Tonight's going to be a long show. So, I want to talk to everybody, right? Terrell, right? Terrell is 31. He's a motivator. It's tech sales. He's been climbing fast in tech sales. But the climb has a poison in it he can't shake. He sent this in just 5 days ago, right? And this is from Terrell. Terrell says, I cannot stop comparing myself to people who started later than me and are further along. It is eating me alive. And I know that sounds crazy, but I can't turn it off. How do I get out of my own head? Well, Terrell, you're not the only one, bro. You're not the only one, man. Listen. A lot of us do that. And that's a fact, man. A lot of us do that, right? Real answer. Don't turn that off, right? But it's time to tweak that thought process. Let's turn it down a bit, right? Let's turn it on to you, right? Because comparison is not a glitch. Comparison is wired into your nervous system. You are built to compare. Every primate that ever lived had to compare to figure out where it stood in the jungle, in the tribe, right? And that's not flaw. That's biology. The flaw is who you are comparing to and what you are doing with that data. But I got 3 rules for you, Terrell. So write them down. Get your pen and paper right. Write them down, brother. Let us know in the chat, right? Let us know. Here's rule number 1. Stop comparing yourself to strangers on the screen. Those are characters. Those are highlight reels. Those are leveraged identities. Those are not people. Those are content. You cannot compare your inside to somebody's outside. You will lose every single time because you're comparing the full picture of you to the marketing brochure of them, right? And then there's rule number 2. Compare yourself to yourself last year, last quarter, last month, last week. Are you stronger than what you were? Are you smarter than what you were? Are you sharper, clearer, right? Or even more disciplined, right? That is the only comparison that builds. Every other comparison drains, right? And then rule number 3. When do you see somebody pulling ahead? It's time to change that question, man. Stop asking why them, not me. Start asking, what are they doing that I am not? That is the only useful version of that question. The first version is jealousy. The second version is reconnaissance. One of those produces nothing. The other produces a play you can run tomorrow, right? Started later does not mean ahead. Started later means more visible because the curve was steeper. You do not know what they sacrificed in private to make the curve look so steep or so sweet, right? You do not know what is coming for them on the back end. You do not know if their year 3 looks like your year 3, right? You don't know that. The only answer to the comparison disease is to get so deep into your own work that you do not have the bandwidth to look up, right? The cure for envy is execution. The more you build, the less you watch. Terrell, my man, you got this. It's time to do some introspect, right? Stop watching. It's time to watch yourself, right? Motivators, that was your third brick. Lock in, right? To my warriors, you're up next. The chair is rotating, right? We got Sergeant Mike. Sergeant Mike, come on down. Sergeant Mike, all right? All right, salute, bro. I see you. Salute to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sending this in. This is deep, man. Thank you. Sergeant Mike. Sergeant Mike's 44. He's a warrior, right? 20 years in the Army, 2 combat deployments, all right? He got out 3 years ago. Thank you for your service. He sent this in on Sunday, right? Because he was having the kind of Sunday morning a lot of us know about, right? A lot of us know about, right? And here it is. This is from Mike. If I get a little emotional, man, just bear with me, right? 20 years in, combat deployment. He got out 3 years ago. He says he cannot find his purpose on the civilian side. Everything feels small. Everything feels fake. How do I get my fire back without going back? Right? Well, thanks first, Mike. I'm going to call you Big Sarge, right? Thanks, Big Sarge. Brother, listen, I see you. And you know I see you, right? I've been there. OEF 3-4, Iraq, right? I know what that feeling feels like, right? And I know what you're feeling right now as you're sitting in that chair, right? We know these things better than most, right? I've walked in that room that you're feeling and then sitting in, right? So I want you to hear me, Mike. Listen. The reason civilian life feels small is because it is. And that's by design. The intensity you operated at was not normal. It was war. The brotherhood you operated inside of was not normal. It was forged in fire. You're not broken because nothing is hitting the same. You're being recalibrated to a frequency that the civilian world does not transmit in, right? That is not your problem to fix. That is your gift to deploy, right? And here's the truth that nobody told you when you got out, Mike. You didn't lose your purpose, brother. You know the container that was holding your purpose. The mission was the container. The unit was the container. The chain of command was the container. Once you stripped the container, the purpose did not disappear. It just had nowhere to go. So now it is sitting inside you with no outlet. That is what feels small. That is what feels fake. It's not the world. It is the unspent fuel, right? And I got something for you, man. Write this down. 3 moves. 3, right? 3. First, it's time to find you a new mission, right? Not a job, but a new mission, right? And there's a difference. A job pays you. A mission costs you something and gives you back more than money can measure, right? For some warriors, that is mentoring kids. For some, it's building a business that hire other vets. For some, it's faith work. For some, it's fighting for policy, right? Some is creative work, right? You need to find yours. You need to go hunt for it, right? Like they used to hunt for those objectives that we used to do, right? And number two, find your new unit. Not a Facebook group, a unit. People you train with, people you bleed with, right? People you check on at 06, right? People who would come over at 02 if you need them. That brotherhood does not disappear, man. When you take the uniform off, it's still there. It just has to be rebuilt on the civilian terms, right? And Mike, you can build it, right? You can build it with 20 years in, you can build it, man. It's time to go build, right? And number three, stop trying to feel the way you used to feel. That fire was paid for in blood and it cost more than it should have, right? And you shouldn't have to pay that again. The new fire is quieter, steadier. It's the kind of fire that lasts 40 more years instead of burning out at 40 or 50, right? Let the quiet fire come. It's a real fire. And it doesn't roll the same way, right? You do not lose your purpose, Mike. Big Sarge. A purpose is waiting for you to give it a new battlefield, right? Pick one this week. You move it. Continue the mission. Man, I salute you. Thank you for sharing. Warriors, that is the first brick, right? Next up, we got a Captain Renee. Captain Renee, man, where are you, ma'am? Where are you, Captain Renee? Okay, I see you. I see you. Okay. All right, take your time. I'll give you a second. Why are you doing that? Get back with us. Hold on. All right. You ready? You got your pen? Okay, cool. That one didn't work. Trust me, I know. Don't you hate that? Right. So, Captain Renee, listen, ma'am. Renee is 38. Of course, she prescribes in the Warriors community. Officer, combat tours, honorable discharge, right? She sent this in on a Tuesday, right? In the subject line that said, I've never told anybody this. And I'm not going to read the subject line out loud again. I'm going to honor the question, right? Renee. This is Renee, right? Renee says, I'm still carrying something I did over there that I've never told anybody. And it's eating me. And I tried therapy. I tried church. I tried alcohol. Nothing touches it. How do I put this down? Well, ma'am, Sister Renee, first, stop, right? Stop. You don't put it down. Not the way that you're thinking, right? Because what you carry is real. It's heavy. It's yours. And it's not going anywhere by being shoved deeper, right? Therapy didn't work because you were probably not telling the whole truth in the room. Church didn't work because you were probably not telling the whole truth at the altar. Alcohol did not work because alcohol does not work for this, and you already know that. And here's what I've learned from warriors I love, who carried things that thought they can never put down, right? Including me. The weight does not disappear. The weight gets distributed. You stop carrying it alone. That is the move. The thing you have not told anybody is the exact thing that needs to leave your mouth in front of one person who can hold it. Just one. The trauma-trained therapist who specializes in moral injury, a combat-trained chaplain, a peer in a closed warrior group. Just one person, not the whole world. Not your spouse who didn't sign up for it. Not your kids. One trained person, right? The first time you say it out loud, the weight does not vanish. It just stops being yours alone. Once it's not yours alone, you can start to live around it. That is the goal, not the erasure. Coexistence is the plan. The other piece is this, Captain Renee. Stop calling it a flaw in you, right? What you carry is evidence that you were in a place where impossible decisions had to be made by people who were too young or too tired, too outnumbered to make them perfectly. That is not a character defect. That is the cost of having been there. The wound is not who you are. The wound is where you served. The people who came back without weight either were not in the same fight or are lying about it, right? Most of us are carrying something. Most of us aren't telling. The crisis in our community is not that we have these wounds. The crisis is that we would not name them in the right rooms. You called the right room tonight by asking the question, right? Now, you need to find a trained person, just one this week, right? It doesn't need the whole world, man. The whole world can't help you. You need one expert, right? Call the Veterans Crisis Line, right? 988, then press 1, right? Call the Cohen Veterans Network, right? Call the Wounded Warrior Project moral injury programs, right? Real ones, tested ones, free ones. The only cost is there is no cost, except for the wall that you're willing to break down or tear down, right? Captain Renee, I hope you're still here. Okay. Listen. You're still here. And that is nothing. That is the foundation. We pour from this point forward, right? We pour from here, right? Warriors, that is the second brick. It was heavy and necessary, right? One chair left, man. One chair left, and then we're through. Stay with me, right? Stay with me, right? The 11th chair. Thank you, Renee. That was boy. Man, you veterans, man. I tell you, man, y'all, man, do it to me every time, man. Do it to me every time, right? The 11th chair. The 11th chair. It doesn't have a name on it. The 11th chair is you, right? That seat is reserved for whoever is listening to this episode right now. And at this point where we're in right now, 18 minutes over, right? Right now. And who recognize themselves in one of those 10 chairs that already came through. Or recognize themselves in something none of them said yet, right? The chair belongs to you. First name, last initial, right? Whoever you are, wherever you are, right? Whatever you're carrying tonight and that you haven't said out loud yet. I don't know your name, right? Because you didn't send it in or it didn't get chose, right? But I know the shape of this, right? Because every smart, every final boss, every motivator, every warrior in here has had to sit alone with some version of it. The question is a version of this, right? And all of us have asked this. And here it is. the question that everybody asks at some point or another. Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Right? That is the question under all of the other questions. Every chair tonight, every question that came in, every voice that sat down with underneath Maya's question about systems, underneath Marcus' question about decision, underneath Jason's questions about leadership, underneath Diane's question about loneliness, underneath Robert's question about arrival, underneath Devon's question about timelines, underneath Crystal's questions about momentum, underneath Terrell's question about comparison, underneath Sergeant Mike's question about purpose, and underneath Captain Renee's question about the weight. Underneath every single one of those questions, the real question is always, am I going to make it? And I'm going to give you the answer to that, right? The answer is yes, but it's not the way you think. You're not going to make it because you grind harder. You're not going to make it because you read more books. You're not going to make it because you fix every flaw. You're not going to make it because you outwork everybody in your zip code. You're going to make it because you stop asking the question to yourself in private and started asking it out loud. In a room, in a community, in a chair, to a brother, to a sister, to a host, to God, and to anybody who would witness it, right? Especially to God, right? The question stops eating at you the second you stop swallowing it. Tonight, every voice in this episode did exactly that. Maya did, Marcus did, Jason did, Diane did, Robert did, Devon did, Crystal did, Terrell did, Mike did, Renee did. Every chair that rotated, every question that got read, every person who sent in the words that I discussed tonight made the choice to stop caring about it in private. That is the foundation, not the answers, right? The asking, right? Arc 3, the foundation is not made of advice. The foundation is made of truth. And you finally said it out loud in the chat that can hold the weight of it. The chat can hold it. Final bosses can hold it, right? The 11th chair is empty because it is yours. Whoever you are, whatever you are carrying, whatever question you have not sent in yet, the chair is reserved. Send it in this week. Next time we have a town hall, who knows? It might get picked, right? The next time the chair rotates, your voice may be in it. Your name may be on it. Your question may get answered the way Maya's got answered, right? The way Marcus did, right? The way every voice did tonight. Smarts, final bosses, motivators, warriors. The chair is yours, right? Now, the brass tacks tonight, it's time to tighten up and lock in, right? The foundation does not get poured by the architect alone. Every voice in this room laid a brick tonight. That is the rebirth building itself in real time. That is the quote. That is the night. And let me unpack it, right? Every season I sit on the mic and tell you what the rebirth is, right? I've been telling you for 30 weeks now. I told you it was a death and a return. I told you, I told you this in silence in the end of the new beginning. I told you it was a process, not an event. And tonight I'm telling you something different, right? Rebirth is not happening to you. Rebirth is being built by you, brick by brick, question by question, honest sentence by honest sentence. Every time one of you sat down in a chair tonight and said the thing you've been afraid to say, you laid a brick. Maya, you laid one. Marcus, you laid one. Jason, you laid one. Diane, you laid one. Robert, you laid one. Devon laid one. Crystal laid one. Terrell laid one. Mike laid one. Renee laid one. 10 bricks tonight from 10 people. Real names, real questions, real foundation, right? The 11th brick is yours. You're at home. You're playing with your cat. You're in the gym. You're in the kitchen. Wherever you're doing, this episode found you, right? And every smarts who admitted that the dashboard was draining them, laid a brick. Every final boss who had admitted the climb was lonely, laid a brick. Every motivator who admitted that they were scared they would make it, laid a brick. Every warrior who admitted that they were still carrying something heavy, laid a brick. Every single one of those admissions is a brick. You stack enough bricks, you have a foundation. You have a foundation, you have a building. You have a building, you have an empire. You have an empire, you have a legacy. You have a legacy, you have a generation that gets to stand on top of what you built without inheriting the weight that almost broke you. That is the math. So here's the verdict, right? The rebirth is not a vibe. It's not a slogan. It's not a hashtag. It is not a season title, right? The rebirth is the discipline showing up in the chair, telling the truth and letting the community pour into the next layer of foundation on top of what is already being confessed. That is what we did tonight. That is what we will keep doing. 11 chairs tonight, more chairs next time, and the next time, and then the next time after that. The show is not a podcast. The show is the foundation pour. You did the pouring tonight. Welcome to Arc 3, the foundation. Welcome to the build. The brick is laid. The mic is hot, and the chair is yours next time, right? Get those emails in, man, so I could do the same for you. That is the brass tacks. That is the verdict. Final bosses, you got the assignment. Let's go. We're about to close, right? And listen, family. Listen, real talk before we close out, right? We just heard tonight was not normal special guest Thursdays, right? You know that. There was no guest in the chair, but there was 11 of you. The chair rotated all night. We poured foundation together. That is the show. That is the move. That is Arc 3, right? And 3 things before I let you go, right? Number 1 is your assignment, right? Send your question in. The 11th chair is reserved for whoever sends in the truth they have been avoiding, right? DM me, right? Comment under the episode, email the platform. The next time we run this format, your voice could be the one in the chair. Your name could be called the way Maya's got called. Your name could be called the way Marcus got called, the way Jason, Diane, Robert, Devon, Crystal, Terrell, Sergeant Mike, Captain Renee, all got called tonight, right? Real questions, real names change, real answers, no stunts. And then, right, number 2, the resources for tonight. For my warriors who hurt themselves in Sergeant Mike and Captain Renee, right? The Veterans Crisis Line is dial 988, press 1. 24 hours a day, trained operators. Cohen Veterans Network is free mental health for post 9/11 vets and families. And then there's the Wounded Warrior Project, right? They have moral injury and warrior care programs, giving our free mental health services for vets and families, right? And for my smarts, final bosses, motivators, your assignment is at my first name -turbodealer.com, right? Go pick up Go Time, all aboard the Fired Up train. It's an Amazon bestseller, right? The manual that built the framework you're operating inside of right now. Go Time 2 is dropping in July, right? The website launched a few days ago, right? Leave us your emails. Get on the list. Next move is going to be dropping there first, right? And then number 3, the schedule, right? Friday nights, we're off. Saturdays, we're off, right? Sunday, sitting down Sundays at 9 p.m. Monday, Motivation Mondays, 9 p.m. Tech Tuesdays with the Sensei, 9 p.m. Merger Wednesdays, doctoral level consciousness sovereignty architecture, 9 p.m. And then, of course, special guest Thursdays, right? 9 p.m. 5 shows a week, no off weeks, no filter. We pour foundation every single night. And to my smarts, Maya and Marcus, every one of you keep building, people. Keep building. Track the right metrics this time, right? To my final bosses, Jason and Diane and Robert, and every one of you, lead while scared. Build the board of one, pour the second foundation. And to my motivators, Devon and Crystal and Terrell, and every one of you, scale the habit down, stack the bricks small. The fire comes back, right? And to my warriors, Sergeant Mike and Captain Renee, salute you. Thank you for your service. And for each and every last single one of you, find the trained holder. Put the weight down with somebody who can carry it with you. You are still here. That counts. That counts to everybody. The chair was full tonight. 11 of you sat down. 10 names spoke. The 11th chair is yours. The foundation is real. The brick is laid. The mic is hot. I see you. Listen, guys, I love you. I will not stop pouring into every one of you who has a foundation that holds. I'm your host, The Final Boss. This is The Final Boss Podcast, signing off for episode number 230, Special Guest Thursdays, Season 4, The Rebirth, Arc 3, The Foundation. The chair rotates again next Thursday. Send those questions in, right? You never know when we're going to pull another town hall, right? Pull up your chair. Have a good night. And if this resonates with you, share it with at least 3 people. Share it with at least 3 people, right? And remember this, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret is even heavier, right? I am here. We are here. And as always, be balanced, be equal, be smart. And that is our show for this evening. Thank you for staying with us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Y'all have an amazing time, and I will see you this Sunday for Sitting Down Sundays. Have a great one.
Only thing that's on my